friends, it's Rachel with the Ponds Farmhouse, and today I am in my workshop, and so I am going to be sharing with you how I am putting together a fun grapevine wreath using clay pots, faux flowers, and some Spanish moss. I have a grapevine wreath here. This is one of the ones that I made myself from gathering grapevine around the property. And we're going to age these clay pots. These actually came from the Dollar Tree. I've got several of them. The small ones come in a pack of 3 and the larger ones come in a pack of 2. I got some jute twine, some styrofoam here. We're going to use some paint to age these pots, and then we're going to get started putting it together. So bear with me and let's take a look at what we're going to do first. Okay, so our first step is just to go ahead and age these pots. And what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to take a little bit of the dark graphite chalk paint, and I'm just going to splash a little bit on here randomly. We're not trying to do anything perfect here, so this is just a random application of the darker color. What we're wanting to do is just so that when we paint over this, we get a little bit of the darker color showing through. Because if you've ever looked at a really old, clay pot that's been around sitting in the yard for a while, it's going to have light and dark areas to it. It's not going to look 100% perfect. Have the black on all the pots and it's dried. We're going to go ahead and add the white to it, and for this I'm taking another kind of a rough dry brush technique on here. I'm not trying to cover it 100%, get a little bit on the inside of the pot, kind of brush over it. You want to still kind of see a little bit of that dark shining through, a little bit of the Terra Cotta shining through. You can paint them solid, but that's not the look that I'm actually going for with this. So you can see now, see how they still have a little bit of the dark shining through. So let's go ahead and finish up all the pots, and then we're going to start putting this together. Okay, our next step is to start attaching these clay pots to the grapevine wreath. What I'm doing is I'm cutting a piece of the jute string about 3 feet. That may be a little excessive, but I want to make sure I have plenty to tie it on tightly to the wreath. I'm running it through the bottom, the hole that's already in the bottom of the pot, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to attach it by tying it on here. So I'm going to get everything ready, and then we'll start adding them on and seeing what they look like. Okay, we're almost around, but I just kind of wanted to stop and show you what I've done so far. What we're doing here is I'm just kind of alternating, putting one pot facing inward, one pot facing upward, and just alternating between the small and the larger little clay pots. And so we're going to go all the way around, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to fill these pots up, not all of them, but some of them, to make it a really fun wreath for spring. Okay, now we've got all the clay pots tied onto the grapevine wreath. We may have a few little gaps. I've got a couple extra pots. We're going to see how it starts to look as we start to add the greenery and the flowers to this. So let's just take a look and see what happens next. Okay, what we're doing now is we're just cutting off little snippets of all these different little green. I've got greenery, I've got little pansies here, some baby's breath, and we have the Spanish moss, a hot glue gun, and then what we're doing is just coming over and sticking some styrofoam up into every one of these and putting in a little greenery. We're just kind of doing it randomly. I'm not trying to do each individual piece. I've got styrofoam in some of them I'm just putting a little Spanish moss. So let's just keep adding and see what it looks like when we're finished. Okay, it's completely filled. I've filled in several spots with some little bit of Spanish moss, anything that looked like it was a hole in it, and then added the flowers, and I am loving it. I hope y'all like it. Thank y'all for watching.